A woman in chains is surrounded by a group of cloaked mages. She looks up to see the full moon, which has turned purple along with the thundering sky. A shadow of a creature is lurking around, and slowly comes towards the woman. When she asks for help, an enormous hand with sharp nails appears from the shadows, slowly getting bigger. It turns out to be a big dragon coming out of the shadows. Breaking free with a spell, she chained the dragon, drawing her sword. A couple hooded individuals emerge, Byro, a guy wielding a sword, and a young boy carrying a mirror named Hyro, Byro's son. With the intention of enclosing the terrible dragon, Dagonzot, the sealing ceremony gets started. The dragon, called Dagonzot, has ravaged their territory to the point of no return, consuming souls and leaving their lands barren. The dragon is imprisoned by a massive circular shield. All of a sudden, Byro is struck by an arrow in his back. Even though he is hurt and bleeding after falling, he still tells his wife to carry out the sealing ceremony as planned, because if she doesn't, the dragon would use his soul-destroying flames to destroy the whole region. Dagonzot breaks out of the shield and approaches Hyro. As the dragon is about to attack him, Byro, with his hands, casts a spell, which saves the boy but causes a scar on both the dragon and the child's chest. A huge eruption happens on the land as the dragon breathes fire upon them, killing everyone. A decade later, a hooded young guy with a massive sword on his back is entering a town called Linsekisi. The town is filled with magical creatures and humans. A young girl in the middle of the market announces the arrival of a wealthy merchant, Nambuko, who arrives in the town on his big chariot and starts throwing coins at people. A group of young kids says he is just throwing the money he made from them. One of the kids wishes to have the grand Troa the merchant is carrying with him, as it wishes any grant. That kid, Peshet, hops onto his chariot, but the merchant notices. In the market, a soldier tells a twisted version of the Balbagoa tragedy, catching the attention of Hero. When the soldier shows off a crest he inherited called the Crest of Dalhalbart, one of those young thieves snatches it from his hands and tries to run away. But an enormously big soldier, Hakai, grabs him by his hand. But the swordsman intervenes, draws out his big sword, and asks them to let the kid go. He gives the soldier a gold coin as a payment for the crest, and they happily leave. The young guy grabs the crest from the ground, but the kid he saved is upset because it was part of the plan for him to distract the soldier while the others looted their way. He takes the crest away from the swordsman's hand. The swordsman follows them to their hideout and takes that crest away. They are shocked that he came this far just to take the crest from a fairy tale. He introduces himself as Hero and asks their names. One of them replies, Tomite, their leader. Hero says that the crest actually belongs to him and jumps from their window. Meanwhile, a scar-faced man is in search of Hero, accompanied by a half-demon creature. The creature predicts that Linsekisi will be a target for Hero's thieving exploits. In a meeting with the town lord, Nambuko demands magic stones. Sharisharu, his lover, showcases the Grand Troa, promising its use for the lord's benefit. But the artifact is stolen by a magical lizard, and Sharisharu reveals it to be the child's doing. Somewhere else, a girl's feet turn liquid fire into ice, transforming her surroundings into a frozen wasteland. The kid thieves chase Hero from roof to roof when one of them slips from the top. But Hero stops him from falling by grabbing his hand. One of the kids let them know their friend was caught stealing the Grand Troa. Peshati faces a death sentence under the orders of Nambuko. Hero intervenes, questioning the extreme punishment. Identifying himself as a wandering swordsman, he clashes with soldiers, showcasing his exceptional skills. Sharisharu attacks him with her magic spell, but Hero remains immovable. Then he takes the scabbard from his sword. He rushes toward some soldiers with his sword, but to everyone's surprise, no one is hurt. When he is surrounded by all the soldiers, he wishes to talk it out, but the scar-faced guy, known as Giru, arrives to save him. He calls him by the young master, which annoys Hiro. The half-demon creature, called Palpa, keeps telling him that with this level of sword mastery, he can't defeat Dagonzot. Sharisharu, impatient, orders the soldiers to attack. Hiro, Giru, and Palpa fend them off. Sharisharu unleashes her super magic, but an unseen shield protects the trio. A dragon's shadow emerges and Dagonzot appears, roaring ominously. As the sky darkens, Hiro faces the colossal dragon, his heart pounding with uncertainty. The continent of Kunan is ruled by sword and sorcery, with 3 powerful countries, the Kingdom of Saint Amoria, the Kingdom of Ishilfin, and the Kings of Van Lodis. All are equally powerful, but all fear the evil dragon Dagonzot. He came from the shadows and devoured the souls of mankind. Back to the fight, Hiro, aided by Giru, lunges towards Dagonzot, only to be caught and electrocuted. Arrows rain down on the dragon, threatening Hiro and Giru. Miraculously, Dagon shields them, surprising everyone. The dragon flies away, leaving the sky restored. The Lord is angry at the merchant and wonders how he could bring the dragon to the town, but the merchant laughs. He is happy that the fear has struck again and that the people will kneel before the Lord for protection, and that would make Nambuko profitable. Hiro, unconscious, is reviving from the fight. Palpa questions Giru about Dagonzot. Giru explains how a failed dragon sealing ceremony 10 years ago led to a tragedy. Bairo, Hiro's father, Kismetete, his mother, and Mages attempted the seal. It seemed successful, but the soul-devouring flames of the dragon claimed them all. No magic can revive those consumed by the flames. Walking up with a scream, Giro desperately wants to pursue Dagonzot, but Girowu stops him. Tomita berates him for thinking he can even defeat the dragon with his skills. Heihiro, trained by Giru for 10 years, remains determined to avenge his family. The kid still tells him that if he thinks he will win because he tried hard, he is stupid. Peshate suggests the Grand Trowa could defeat Dagonzot, but Palpa clarifies it's a sealing treasure. Hiro inquires about Nambuko, learns that he is an arms dealer and makes profit by making countries fight against each other. Every time he arrives, he gets himself a magic stone, and the poor pay the price by their lords doubling the taxes. Hiro resolves to retrieve the artifact from Nambuko and vanquish the dragon. In the marketplace, Giru advises Hiro to return to the kid's hideout, but Hiro refuses. Palpa confronts Hiro about stolen expenses, sparking a quarrel. Nambuko leaves behind Sharisharu and instructs her to find the boy saved by Dagonzot. Hungry and rejected by eateries, Hiro and Giru are approached by a cat-eared girl, Erin, offering a place to eat. While enjoying their food, Palpa keeps arguing over expenses. Erin cryptically hints at her knowledge of Hiro being Bairo's son and introduces herself. Giru warns Hiro not to be deceived. In a comedic twist, Palpa pays for Erin's meal too, angering him. Hiro devises a plan for them to stay. At the kids' hideout, Hiro insists on staying, earning mixed reactions. The next morning, Giru makes them a delightful breakfast. After the breakfast, Giru suggests Hiro needs more training. Tomite resists their staying, but Hiro promises Giru's daily meals. Giru takes Hiro to a desert to battle slime monsters. Hiro struggles, and Palpa emphasizes the need for money. While Palpa counts money and Giru goes hunting, Hiro notices a sand dragon. Spotting an opportunity, Hiro engages the dragon, discovering a girl inside the dragon's mouth. She thanks the dragon, embraces Hiro, and invites him to join her. As the mysterious girl invites Hiro to join her, Palpa warns against it, noting her emergence from a sand dragon's mouth and possession of a magic wand. She introduces herself as Sarato, admiring Hiro's eyes and suggesting they go wherever he desires. Giru arrives with wolves, questioning Sarato's identity. Palpa is skeptical, and Sarato gets busy playing with pebbles. They quietly run away from the girl, leaving her in the desert. At the kids' hideout, Giru cooks, and Hiro remains lost in thoughts about Sarato. Tomita teases Hiro about falling for her, but Hiro dismisses any romantic distractions, focusing solely on defeating Dagon Zot. Tomita advises him to stop overthinking. Discussing their parentless group, Hiro feels sorry for him, and shares losing parents too. Hiro, claiming to be grown up, gets teased by Tomita about thinking about a girl. Tomita advises him not to lose his mind over a girl, leaving Hiro lost in thoughts about her. Sharisharu searches for Hiro in the town, using his drawing. Frustrated, she resorts to mirror magic, but finds no trace of him. Naambuko communicates through his magic mirrors, plotting to exploit Dagon Zot's return for profit, causing fear and unrest. Through another mirror, he asks his scientist, Dr. Buffalopa, to develop some new weapons, as the war will start soon, and all the kings of 3 countries will struggle to get the weapons. The doctor turns around and wonders if Sarato is okay. Sarato locates Hiro at the kids' hideout. Tomita and Palpa express doubts about her, but Hiro, intrigued, decides she can stay. Giru grumbles about the situation as Hiro takes Sarato to her room. The next morning, Palpa complains about the meager payment for the wolves. Giru emphasizes the need for more lucrative opportunities. Hiro, with Sarato, heads to their training spot. Sarato observes Hiro battling slime, and they encounter a wolf-like monster. As Hiro draws his sword and challenges the wolf to attack, but Hiro fails to strike. The wolf scratches Hiro on his shoulder as he falls back to the ground. The wolf is about to attack Sarato, but Hiro rushes towards the wolf and stabs it in the head, instantly killing it. She notices the scratch on his shoulder and heals it using her magic. In the market, Hiro sells the wolf he killed and receives a gold coin. He hears a child crying and sees guards of the lords forcefully taking a man to work in magic stone mines. Not unconscious by one of them, Hiro is taken captive as Sarato, Tomita, and Giru witness the scene. Held captive with other people, Hiro's gold coin is also taken away by the guards. He hears from other captives that whoever is taken to mine never returns. Sharisharu continues searching for Hiro, and learns from her army about Hiro getting captured. Tomita and Sarato try to find a way to escape Hiro from the prison. Hiro, meanwhile, tries to break the prison walls with his crest of Dalhalbart. At the Lord's mansion, Tomita blackmails the Lord with the ledger he stole, which has details about the Lord stealing from the king. He demands Hiro and other captives' freedom. Giru and Palpa arrive too, cornering the Lord. The Lord has no other option but to release Hiro and others. Released, Hiro is happy to see Sarato again, and Palpa remarks that Hiro might be in love. Sharisharu, angered by the Lord's action, goes back in search for Hiro. Hiro and his group return to the kids' hideout, finding joy in seeing the townfolk families reunited. Hiro remembers a happy childhood moment with his parents, and his determination to slay Dagon Zot gets stronger. Back at the hideout, Hiro invites Tomita, who is sitting alone, to join the group for food. Eren watches from afar, grinning cunningly. Sharisharu, bathing in a lake, remains as a water monster lurks behind her. The same monster is featured on a reward poster in the marketplace, catching Giru's attention as he brings a squid-like monster for breakfast. Hiro complains about the food, but Palpa praises Giru's culinary skills with their minimal budget. The kids enjoy the meal, and after breakfast, Giru announces a day of intensive training for Hiro alone. Hiro questions the purpose of the training, but Giru emphasizes its necessity for facing Dagon Zot. Meanwhile, Sarato continues to follow them. prompting Hiro to give her a gold coin and encourage her to explore independently. Sarato encounters Eren in the market, and they decide to explore together. Later, in the desert, Hiro and Giru face Baby Slime once again, angering Hiro. Eren takes Sarato to the healing springs, a peculiar location. Sarato, seemingly unchanged by the water, notices Sharisharu, who watches them from a distance. Meanwhile, Palpa and Tomita learn about a sea monster with a huge bounty on its head, offering an appealing opportunity. Back at the training, frustrated Hiro struggles with the training and decides to leave, believing they can make money while traveling. Giru, however, insists on the importance of mastering the basics before challenging Dagon Zot. Angered, Hiro rushes at Giru with his sword. Eren and Sarato encounter Sharisharu. Eren playfully dunks Sarato's head in the water. Sharisharu arrives. Eren greets her, and they confirm being from Linsekise. Sharisharu mentions a rumor about a lake monster, explaining the lack of people. Eren considers the bounty on the monster, and Sarato shows a gold coin from Hiro. Before revealing Hiro's name, Eren silences her abruptly. At the training field, Hiro faces Giru and falls again. Giru senses Hiro's desire for the Grand Trawa. Hiro confronts Giru, but Giru strikes back, leaving Hiro bleeding. Palpa and Tomite scold Giru, who decides to take Hiro to the healing springs. Meanwhile, the guards, according to the Sharisharu plan, are waiting near the lake for Hiro to come. They anticipated that Hiro would come for the bounty over the monster of the lake. At the lake, Eren, Sharisharu, and Sarato discuss Sarato's gold coin gift, and Sharisharu praises Eren's figure. Giru, Palpa, Tomite, and an injured Hiro arrive there too. Giru reveals he came for the bounty on the lake monster, and that's why he had to go tough on Hiro's training. The cut on Hiro's chest quickly heals. Both Eren and Sharisharu notice Hiro there. Sharisharu signals the guards, and the sea monster emerges. Giru apologizes to Hiro, stating he was testing his willpower. The monster grabs Sarato, prompting Hiro to act, but Sharisharu intervenes. Eren realizes it was Sharisharu's plan and leaves. The guards lose control, and the monster attacks, grabbing both Sarato and Sharisharu. Giru slices off the tentacle holding Sarato and kills the monster, impressing everyone. Hiro rushes to Sarato, finding her unharmed. The bounty turns out to be fake, and they plan to sell the monster parts. Hiro insists on buying armor, but Giru advises chainmail, leaving them with some money. Unhappy about Hiro leaving, the kids lament the loss of good food. They consider asking Hiro if they can leave Giru behind. As Hiro and his companions bid farewell, Tomita decides to join them. The kids are disappointed, but Tomita promises to return. As they depart, Eren reveals Sharisharu's plan to capture Hiro and offers crucial information about Nambuko's location. Eren presents a map to the land where wishes die, and Hiro welcomes her into the group. Hiro and his group travel through the desert, as they come across a poster warning about killer bears. Tomita shows concern over it, but Hiro says not to fear, saying their goal is to defeat Dagon Zot. Palpa remarks that Hiro's acting like a boss. Eren wonders how to know the market value of the magic stones, and Palpa asks if she has been following them from the beginning. Hiro asks them to move quickly, but he rolls into a sand trap. In the land of where wishes die, Nambuko looks at his crew through his magic mirrors and inquires about the magic stone market. Nambuko is delighted to see the graph going up. The group starts to walk through the scorching desert. They rest near a river, and Tomita sees a rainbow for the first time, expresses his happiness at seeing the world beyond his town. As the sun sets, they decide to set up a camp in the forest, but suddenly a hawk attacks them. Hiro draws his sword and rushes to attack with it, but fails to hit. Giru jumps in between and strikes it, and the hawk flies away. The group decides to camp in the forest to avoid the attacks from hawks and bears. They set up a camp while Giru cooked. Hiro loves the smell coming from Giru's cooking, but Giru worries about the girls. When asked, Jiru says he asked Sarato to get some water, and Hiro goes in search of her. Sarato admires the river and the moonlight, and Hiro hears music coming from the side of the river. He sees it's Eren playing a harp. Hiro asks why Eren joined. She says she's after the Grand Troa for money. Hiro mentions that it belongs to his father. Hiro leaves to find Sarato and finally locates her. Nambuko showcases weapons to Bonus elves and sells them a powerful one to surprise and attack Kilius. Later, he sells the same weapon to Kilius. Sharisharu informs Nambuko that the crew has left town. Nambuko scolds her, provides his hawk for monitoring, and lets her know failure means no more meetings. The next morning, Hiro cautions about monsters and urges them to stick together. Tomita jokes about Hiro becoming a general. Eren wonders about the price of magic stones. The hawk follows them. Sharisharu tracks their location, and they teleport with guards. They reach a mysterious place. Palpa notices salt and dreams of selling it. Suddenly, Sharisharu appears, conjuring massive tree-like monsters. Giru and Hiro draw their swords. Against Giru's warning, Hiro rushes at Sharisharu as monsters and guards approach. Hiro declares he'll capture her for Nambuko's location, but she electrocutes him with a magic spell. Giru urges the others to run, but Eren has already fled. Giru tries to reach Hiro, but the monster and guards block his way. Giru defeats the guards, climbs the monster, and stabs its chest. Sharisharu tries to freeze Hiro, but he breaks his sword in defiance. Tomita panics, but Palpa has a plan. He uses his magic card to summon a locker with legs. Momu pops out, offering fast, cheap, and top-quality service. Palpa tells her to take them away and throws Sarato into the locker. Tomita asks about the others, but Palpa leaves it to Giru. He jumps in with Tomiti, and Momo follows, making the locker vanish. Sharisharu reveals that Naambuko wanted Hiro captured, but not necessarily in one piece. As she prepares to attack, Giru intervenes. She orders Giru to stay out of the way and attacks, causing an earthquake. Giru gets trapped on the rising land, and she electrocutes him, taking revenge on Giru for multiple offenses. Hiro pleads for them to stop, but Sharisharu insists on killing Giru after catching him. She stabs Hiro's hand with her magic umbrella, warning of worse things with the Nambuko. Maniacally laughing, her magic umbrella suddenly flies off. Sharisharu is shocked by the purple energy surrounding Hiro, who growls as the sky darkens with thunder. Guards worry, but Sharisharu orders them to attack. Hiro's eyes turn red, and he runs demonically, swiftly killing all the guards. When he is about to attack Sharisharu, she uses teleportation to escape with the remaining guard. Hiro, losing his newfound power, faints. In his trance, he recalls his actions and wonders how he achieved them. He slowly regains consciousness in the desert as a chariot approaches. As Hiro wakes up in the desert, he notices Nambuko's chariot passing by and wonders about his whereabouts. Recalling the fight with Nambuko's guard, he urges himself to move forward. Meanwhile, elsewhere, Mumu's locker emerges. Sarato goes in search of Hiro, and Palpa asks about Hiro and Giru, but Mumu demands payment and goes away, throwing Palpa out. They find Giru unconscious and attempt to wake him, but fail. Sarato heals him with magic, and Giru wakes up. He discovers hundreds of soldiers dead and starts searching for the young master. Nambuko is greeted by a queen, who awaits a demonstration. He showcases a captive monster and some people. On a hill, Dr. Buffalopa activates a machine, and a red smoke emerges, merging the monster with people, forming a larger four-handed monster. Soldiers kill the creature, impressing the queen. Nyambuko promises to create an army of those monsters. Hiro watches from afar, as the doctor expresses frustration over miscalculations. Hiro confronts Nambuko, who dismisses him. Hiro swordless, challenges Nambuko but is easily defeated. Nambuko questions Hiro's connection to Dagonzot's revival. Hiro demands the Grand Trawa, but Nambuko claims it belongs to him. The guard holds Hiro, and Nambuko invites him to the celebration. Giru sees the aftermath of Hiro's killings, but Palpa claims he can't fight. Tomita picks up Hiro's broken sword, expressing concern. Eren suggests Hiro might have used magic, but Palpa, realizing it's Eren, berates her for deserting them. They argue as the others move forward. At Nyambuko's camp, he offers a small banquet to the queen, who flirts with him. Nyambuko dismisses her, expressing interest only in her money. Sharisharu arrives, sharing news of Hiro's strength. Nyambuko advises her to pay her army well. She professes her love and loyalty as she leaves with him. Giru and the group discover the experiment site with the dead monster, suspecting Hiro's involvement. The broken spear's symbol reveals Nyambuko's hand in the killing and Hiro's likely capture. Hiro is tied to a chair, and Nyambuko prepares to torture him, asking about his connection with Dagonzot. Hiro questions Nyambuko's interest, and Nyambuko reveals that chaos brings wealth. As Nyambuko pauses to attend to the queen, Hiro frees himself using a hidden crest. Meanwhile, Sharisharu enjoys Nyambuko's hospitality outside. Inside, Hiro confronts the doctor, who senses Sariato's scent on him. The doctor, surprised, believes it's fate that Hiro and Sariato met. Hiro cuts the ties, and the doctor helps him escape using teleportation magic. The doctor also tells him to meet Master Theo as Hiro teleports in the air. As Giru and the group observe Nambuko's camp, Hiro unexpectedly falls from the sky through a portal. They decide to run. Nambuko discovers the doctor is tied up, and he learns Sariato is still alive and is with Hiro. Nambuko reminds him what will happen once he knows her true identity, much to the doctor's shock. Eren discovers the abandoned magic stone quarry, while Hiro mentions meeting Dr. Bafalopa, whom Sarato reveals is her father. Jiru reflects on the old man's words about Hiro's heart not being his own. He theorizes that during the attack 10 years ago, Bairo may have switched Hiro's heart with Dagonzot's. Giru further explains that Hiro's moments of immense power result from tapping into the dragon's heart. Hiro, skeptical, questions the implications and learns that if he dies, the dragon dies and vice versa. Angry, he runs outside and Giru and Palpa follow, with Eren opting to join too, but Tomita stops her due to the personal nature of the situation. In Nyambuko's palace, Sharisharu receives a peculiar gift from Nyambuko, a yellow lion pet with multiple eyes and wings. Meanwhile, Hiro sits alone, troubled by recent revelations. Palpa attempts to lighten the mood, reminiscing about Hiro's young days. However, Hiro remains upset, contemplating the weight of his situation. Palpa, determined to cheer Hiro up, recalls instances from Hiro's past where he would crouch and lean forward when upset. Hiro says he doesn't recall, but Palpa says he acts the same way now. Palpa suggests that Giru has been conducting magic research for the past decade, specifically for Hiro's benefit. He emphasizes their commitment to protecting Hiro, who begins to feel more supported. Hiro decides to pursue the Grand Trowa, believing it holds the key to switching back their hearts. The group rallies behind him, and Sariato reassures Hiro by listening to his heartbeat. As they walk, a winged eye subtly observes them, relaying their location to Sharisharu. Sharisharu, eager to fulfill Nambuko's orders, prepares to leave for Hiro's location. However, a guard informs her that Nambuko instructed them to stay put until further notice. But Sharisharu says if she leaves for them, he will be impressed. In a seemingly deserted village, Hiro's group takes a break. Giru notices peculiar claw marks, and Tomita discovers a similar mark inside a well. Suspicious of the village's silence, Giru recalls a traumatic event from his past involving prejudice against his ogre father and human mother. Suddenly, the group encounters a monster, a fusion of humans and orcs, reminiscent of Nambuko's experiments. They realize it's Nambuko's doing, and he will pay for it. Despite Giru's efforts, the monster proves formidable, prompting Palpa to suggest a retreat. As the monster targets Hiro, Giru intervenes, but his strength is compromised due to recovery. The group faces a dire situation, with Hiro unable to transform into his dragon form. The monster, created by Nambuko's experiments, continues its assault. But Giru comes in time to slice off his hand. The monster falls down, dying. Hiro, enraged, swears to make Nambuko pay for his atrocities. Eren arrives at Nambuko's mansion intending to meet him. Sharu questions Eren's motives, but Eren deflects her suspicions. Eren informs Nambuko about Hiro possessing Dagan Zot's heart, seeking compensation. Nambuko offers her the Alshina, an expensive artifact, in return. Aware of the potential threat Hiro poses, Nambuko orders Sharu to kill him. The night falls, and a pink sigil appears, heralding the arrival of Mamu's locker. Eren emerges from the locker, pays Mamu generously, and leaves with a heavy heart after overhearing Nambuko's orders to kill Hiro. Meanwhile, Hiro and the group make their way to Rukaunau, a bustling town where various roads meet. In need of a sword, Hiro tasks Giru with finding a blacksmith. Giru, who carries a crocodile-like creature, suggests selling it first to secure funds. Palpa chimes in, cautioning against extravagant spending given the journey ahead. They decide to take shelter in an inn. And Palpa orders everyone not to eat outside and on preparing their meals in the room to save expenditure, and Giru goes to the marketplace to bring food for the group. Hiro reminds him about the sword, and Palpa adds not to buy an expensive one. At a blacksmith shop at market, Hiro goes through several big swords before buying the one offered to him by Giru after checking its balance and sharpness. Sarato says it's beautiful, but also scary. They return to the inn. As Giru waits with food for the couple, Hiro and Sarato pass by a jewelry shop, where Sarato admires a moonstone. The shop owner offers a discount, but the price is still high. Hiro, surprised by the price, hesitates to buy it, but Sarato says she loves the gold coin he gave her more. Giru calls them to go back to the inn. Eren visits the same blacksmith to purchase magic arrows capable of defeating large monsters. She buys 5 of them. That night, the group relaxes in their rooms, enjoying Giru's meal. Sarato, however, seems preoccupied and hasn't touched her food. Giru confirms if Hiro heard the name Master Theo from the doctor. Tomita asks who the guy is, and Giru says he was Bairo's master. Giru still wonders why the doctor asked Hiro to meet his father's master. Sarato says Theo is her friend. Palpa says that's even more strange. Hiro is shocked, but Tomita says the fastest way to figure everything out is to meet him. Giru says they will meet Master Theo soon. Outside, something moves among the shadows, as a cat notices but goes back to sleep. Everybody says goodnight to each other. Sarato doesn't sleep and sits by the window, looking at the gold coin she got from Hiro. Palpa and Tomita are deep in their sleep, snoring, while Giru is awake, thinking. Hiro asks if anything happened back at the village they came across. Giru says no, and Hiro is thankful that he saved them back there. Giru says he was just doing his job and tells Hiro not to share everything that goes inside his heart. When asked why he couldn't sleep, Hiro says knowing there's a dragon inside him and he can't sleep peacefully. Outside, the shadow of a tower changes itself into a tentacle and attacks the cat, leaving only his bell. As sleep takes hold, the town is in chaos. Shadowy tentacles, shaped like a tower, wreaking havoc, devouring everything in its path. Awoken by the screams, Hiro and Giru rush towards the town. The shadowy entity reveals itself as Dagan Zot, devouring townsfolk in the shadows. Sarato is slowly moving towards Hiro, ignoring Tomita's warning. Hiro sees everyone slowly dragged into their shadows and takes out his sword, but Giru says to stay back. When the dragon comes for them, Giru pushes Hiro back and hits the dragon's shadow. Sarato reveals that the creature is an imitation created by Sharisharu. Sharisharu arrives too, and Sarato runs towards Hiro to warn him. Hiro asks Sharisharu why she did that. She replies that she knew he couldn't stand other people getting hurt. Back at the land where wishes die, Dr. Buffalapa sees Sarato through one of Nambuko's mirrors. Nambuko asks him to keep focusing on Hiro. She orders the creature to eat Giru. As Giru is slowly pulled into the shadow, Sharisharu is about to stab Hiro, but Hiro holds her dagger, electrocuting him. The situation intensifies when Sharisharu stabs Hiro with a dagger, triggering a shocking transformation. Hiro's eyes turn demonic red as an immense energy force emanates from him, throwing Sharisharu aside. Hiro, now in his dragon form, confronts Sharisharu's forces. Giru is nearly consumed by the shadow monster, but Erin's enchanted arrow saves him. Sharisharu, realizing the danger, teleports herself and her army away. In the aftermath, Dagonzot unexpectedly appears, causing Hiro to lose control. Giru, attempting to calm him, falls victim to Hiro's frenzied attack. Blood spatters, and as mirrors shatter in Nambuko's mansion, Dagonzot retreats into the shadows. Sarato tries to heal Giru, and Hiro, regaining control, is left in shock and grief for the harm he inflicted on his friend. Nambuko, observing the events, recognizes that Hiro is the key to summoning Dagonzot, as Hiro is crying over the consequences of his unleashed power. Giru is still lying unconscious and bandaged, back at their inn. Hiro, deeply upset about his attack, sits by his side. Sarato joins him, offering comfort. Palpa is cooking food, but is not fond of the smell coming from it. Tomita arrives, informing him that Giru has woken up. Hiro and Palpa are excited, welcomes Giru back. However, Giru is more concerned about the bad smell coming from the kitchen and questions Palpa's cooking skills. Hiro apologizes to Giru for his attack, but Palpa puts the dragon within Hiro at fault for that. Hiro requests Sarato to heal Giru with her magic again, but she says that her healing abilities cannot heal anymore. Hiro advises Giru to rest and recover, saying they will find a solution. Giru says he is worried that the dragon within Hiro might stop him from getting back to his normal self someday. Hiro is determined to prevent that outcome, and Giru emphasizes the importance of finding Master Theo, believing he might have a cure. Palpa, concerned for Giru, calls for Mumu and attempts to acquire a medicine, but the cost proves too high. Tomita suggests seeking the healing springs in Linsakis, but Palpa dismisses the idea, fearing the journey would endanger Giru's life. Erin offers a solution, suggesting a place called Koreru Arua Canyon, a place half a day away, where they can find rare herbs for medicine. Hiro decides to embark on the journey with Sarato. Back at Nambuko's mansion, huge orders of weapons pour in from various kingdoms, increasing Nambuko's wealth. He orders his soldiers to spread the rumor in kingdoms that a certain country has captured the Dagonzot. The more vague the information, the more fear it raises. Sharisharu was caressing her lion pet, and couldn't believe that Nambuko would tell her not to show her face again and is locked in a cell. Hiro and Sarato are still walking towards their destination to find the herbs. At the inn, Erin walks down from Giru's room, saying that his fever isn't going down. Papa says they have to wait for Hiro and Sarato to bring the herbs. Erin says Sarato has turned pretty since the last time she saw her. Tomita says he too noticed that and asks Palpa, but he says not to disturb him as he is going through their financial sheets. Tomita goes on to say that he has never seen Sarato eat. Palpa yells at Tomita to shut up, as he is getting the calculations wrong. Tomita also points out that Sharisharu always gets to know their location somehow. It seems like someone is letting her know. Palpa asks if he thinks that Sarato is the one telling Sharisharu, but Tomita says he isn't sure, and Sarato's father too works for Nambuko. Hiro reaches the canyon, and Sarato says she can feel the herbs. Hiro says they have to go down the canyon for the herbs. Hiro asks Sarato to wait for him as he doesn't know what's down there, but Sarato insists on coming with him. Both of them are searching for the herbs when they are attacked by a huge frog monster. They jump and hide behind tall grasses as the frogs lose them. Sarato sees the herb above the hill and points it out to Hiro. Hiro runs towards it. As Giru is shivering with fever, the three of them theorize that Sharisharu attacked them with a monster to capture Hiro. But Eren corrects him, saying not to capture but to kill him, which she heard through the Alshina. Palpa lets Tamit know it's a thing to hear and communicate. But Palpa wonders why Nambuko would want Hiro dead. She says maybe because he wants to know the connection between Hiro and Daganzat. Hiro tries to pull the herb, but suddenly the ground below him rises while he grabs onto the herb. As the monster rises, Sarato identifies it as a glow tortoise. Hiro realizes that he isn't standing on a hill, but on the back of that giant tortoise. Eren says either way, Hiro has to go to the land where wishes die to get the Grand Trawa, and they don't have much time. Eren also lets them know that all three kingdoms now believe the rumor that a certain country captured Daganzad. Papa says that's what Nambuko wants, so that the dragon can cause chaos and make him money. Hiro is still grabbing the herb as the giant tortoise walks away. Papa says spreading the rumor is making Nambuko rich, while Eren says all three kingdoms have given him huge orders of weapons. Also, the price of weapons is going up, which is secretly being controlled by Nambuko, as he is making a fortune for himself. And at this rate, there is going to be a nationwide war. Hiro loses the grip on the herb and slides down the giant tortoise paragraph, but still grabs its back. Tamit says going through a war zone won't be easy, and Mumu's services are expensive. Eren says they have to hurry if they want to reach Nambuko's land. Palpa asks what Eren wants in return, but she says she is just trying to help. Hiro climbs up the giant tortoise back and grabs onto the herb. He pulls harder this time, and finally takes out the herb. The glowing tortoise taps his foot harder, and Hiro falls from its back to the ground, but Sarato catches him in her arms. They reach the inn and feed the herb to Giru, which saves him, waking him up to everyone's delight. Through the Alshina, Tomita connects to his hometown, learning that Linsakis is suffering due to forced child labor in magic stone mines. Concerned about the impending war and the fate of his town, Tomita is determined to obtain the Grand Trawa. Giru, Uiro, and their companions embark on their journey once again. They reach the Holy Mountain, where Master Theo resides. Despite Hiro's urgency to obtain the Grand Trawa, Giru insists on meeting Master Theo for the sake of his heart. Master Theo appears, demanding a present from the visitors. Giru and Palpa introduce themselves as Byro's acquaintances, and Master Theo approaches Sarato. Surprisingly, he recognizes her as a friend, hugging her affectionately and patting her head, much to Hiro's surprise. The group, fatigued by the thin mountain air, faces Master Theo, who insists on receiving a present before addressing their concerns. Palpa questions why Master Theo calls Sarato a friend, to which he casually responds that she is indeed a friend. Giru, emphasizing the importance of their visit, requests advice from the Master, who remains fixated on the absent present. Inside the cave, Master Theo reveals his awareness of events in Balbagoa, expressing the severity of Daganzat's destruction. Giru lets the Master know about Daganzat's heart within Hiro, is filled with immense power and seeks guidance from him. However, the Master says he has no advice for such a situation. Hiro, raging with revenge for his parents, questions Master Theo's lack of help during Balbagoa's tragedy. The Master explains that as a storm can't be stopped, the power of the evil dragon can't be stopped either. Hiro expresses his desire to avenge his parents, but also prioritizes the need to protect his body. Master Theo suggests Hiro practice magic, suggesting him to embrace his mage potential. Giru too supports Master's decision so that Hiro can control his dragon form, leading to preparations for the training. The Master tasks Giru to cook him some meat and asks Tomita to fetch water. Eren too leaves to enjoy the scenery. During the training, the Master expresses philosophical lessons, showing the significance of taking one step at a time, even if the path is not straight. Hiro struggles to get a grip on the lessons, but Palpa is in awe of the Master's philosophy. Meanwhile, Eren, alone on a mountaintop, learns about kingdoms preparing for war, including secret information about the dragon's potential location at Balboa. The master's non-traditional teaching methods infuriate Hiro, who remains doubtful. As the day progresses, Hiro undergoes intensive training with Master Theo. Back at Nambuko's mansion, the guard who has a crush on Sharisharu asks her if she needs anything, but she only asks for a meeting with Nambuko. The next day, Giru asks Master Theo about Hiro's progress. The master says Hiro's straightforward nature is reminiscent of Bairo and realizes there's an unknown potential of Hiro's abilities. Giru is thankful to the master's insights and shows gratitude for his guidance. Master Theo admires Giru for taking a good decision in teaching Hiro swordsmanship, as Hiro could be dangerous. Also, he and Sarato should be kept together, as they are a pair. At Nambuko's mansion, the guard informs Sharisharu that Nambuko wishes to see her. Hiro is asked to wield a Koku blade summoned by Master Theo, and begins training under the master's watchful eye. The training introduces magical elements to Hiro's swordsmanship. Meanwhile, Sharisharu meets with Nambuko, who assigns her a mysterious task. The following morning, Master Theo challenges Hiro, who is quitting to a graduation test involving cutting him without moving. Hiro raises his hand and tries to project magic, but the master says he passed the graduation test and his effort was sufficient, surprising Hiro. The group bids farewell to Master Theo. Sarato too bids farewell, and Master says she has to take care of Hiro. As he turns around, he remembers that the power Hiro used for the test was powerful against his defensive magic too, but that's just a small amount of the true power he has in him. He applauds Bairo's quick thinking to switch the hearts, keeping both in control. The journey continues with the group walking through forests, fields, and deserts. As they approach Nambuko's territory, an unexpected attack from one of Nambuko's hawks raises suspicions about a potential traitor among them. Nambuko, through the Alshina, asks for Eren's crucial information. As Eren picks up the Alshina, Giru asks her what's going on. She says she won't make any excuses, but she is an information broker. Giru asks if she sold any of their information to Nambuko. She accepts, and made a lot out of it. Giru is disappointed, and says killing her won't undo the damage she caused. Everyone is upset, leaves her in the desert, and moves on. Eren shouts that the Mort Desert is a rough place and they will face problems if they don't take her with them, as she knows the way. But they ignore her and move on. In Nyambuko's laboratory, Sharisharu eagerly awaits a procedure conducted by Dr. Buffalapa. Ignoring the guard's warnings, she steps into a glass chamber alongside her tiger pet. The machine activates, merging them into the metal chamber in a dazzling display of light. At the desert, they are still wandering, and Palpa says they can cross without Eren's help. At Van Lotus, the commander let his army know that their enemy, King of Saint Amoria, has joined with Ishilfine and is planning to cause chaos across the continent. Their king, Caristo, has decided to advance his forces to the buffer zone and save the people. The army raises its sword in the name of their king. At night, Hiro and the group are freezing in the cold, as Sarato is wondering why the desert is hotter during the day and colder at night. Papa says, the land where wishes die is still a long way away, as Giru replies that it would take 3 nights more in the desert. The next morning, the group goes through the desert, crossing sand waves. At Saint Amoria, the lords and soldiers discuss among themselves that their enemies Vandolis and Ishilfine have joined hands, and are about to attack their continent with Dagonzot. The commander orders them to go to the land of Balboa and stop them. Back in the desert, Hiro realizes they ran out of water and they need to find an oasis. Palpa, tired, falls down and is dragged by the quicksand. Soon a huge sand crab monster comes out of the quicksand, which Tomita calls a jangalo. Palpa is scared and tries to crawl above, but is dragged into the quicksand. Giru says if he struggles, he will sink faster. He throws his cloak towards Palpa for him to grab, but he slips down more. A wood log with rope tied to it is thrown towards Palpa as he raises his head to see its errand. He grabs the rope, and everyone pulls him up. The jangalo sinks back into the quicksand. Palpa is relieved, and Eren asks if he is okay. Hiro thanks her but says he doesn't want to see her face. She replies that it doesn't bother her, and they have gone farther away from their destination. At Ishelfine, the rumors spreads there too. They have heard Van Lotus and Amoria have joined hands, and Dagon Zot will be involved as well. Their king is praying, and the troops are ready, waiting for the king's order. In the desert, the group faces a sandstorm. They run from the sandstorm but get devoured by it. After the sandstorm is gone, Palpa wakes up to find Aaron sitting by himself. Aaron says she only found him, and others are maybe buried under the desert somewhere. She asks Palpa to join her and go to the oasis, where they might be able to meet them. Hiro elsewhere finds Tomita but wonders where Hiro is. Hiro and Sarato are together. Palpa, tired of walking, asks Aaron if they reached the oasis. She comes clean that the only reason she gave information to Nambuko is to steal the Grand Trawa if she had a chance. Hiro is shivering with cold and faints as Sarato sits by his head. Sarato needs to obtain water, or else Hiro could perish from thirst. She stands up looking for water but couldn't find any. She starts undressing. Giru is carrying a weakened Tomita on his shoulder and finds Aaron and Palpa walking. He calls for them and joins them. He says he is glad they are okay, and Palpa gives credit to Aaron. She asks how Tomita is doing, but Giru says if he doesn't get water he might be in danger. Aaron says to follow her as the oasis is close. Giru is still in a dilemma about whether to trust her. Sarato, standing bare facing the sun, is covered in sweat. Hiro is in a trance state and envisions his younger self playing with his mom and dad. He hears Sarato offering him water. She makes her drink the sweat she collected from her body as he gains consciousness. Nambuko's hawk keeps an eye on them, and Sharisharu's tiger is approaching them. Aaron and others finally reach the oasis to everyone's delight, and Aaron and Palpa, in excitement, jump into the water. They feel alive as Giru gives water to Tomita. Tomita wakes up. As Sarato is carrying Hiro, they see the tiger rushing towards them. The tiger transforms itself into Sharisharu, to Hiro's surprise. She says Nambuko gave her this gift to find them. Hiro falls down as he doesn't have any energy left, and Sharisharu kicks Sarato away. She grabs Hiro and teleports herself, leaving Sarato alone. At Balbagoa, the armies of the three kingdoms are waiting for their enemies to make a move as they prepare for the war. Sharisharu brings Hiro in front of Nambuko. Nambuko says that because of Hiro, he will recreate the disaster again after 10 years. Hiro asks for the Grand Trawa as it belonged to his father. He draws his sword and rushes towards Nambuko. But Nambuko grabs him and says he might not remember him, but they already met 10 years ago. Hiro now realizes that Nambuko is the one who shot his father with the arrow on his back. He had the same plan 10 years ago to use Dagon Zot to cause chaos. But Bairo was an obstacle to his plan and tried to stop the dragon. So he, under the guise of a mage, was present during the sealing ceremony and shot the arrow. He had no idea Bairo had swapped their hearts, and he mocks Hiro about the burden to carry Dagon Zot's heart inside him. Raging with anger, Hiro tries to hit Nambuko with his sword, but Nambuko unarms him. Nambuko says that no matter how much he tries, he cannot defeat him, and he has no intention of killing Hiro, as he needs to transform into Dagon Zot. The remaining group is still wandering in the desert in search of Hiro. Tomita suggests they use the Alshina. Aaron says it's not that powerful, but she gives it a try. As she tries to get a direction, she listens to the soldiers talking about the war, and then hears Sarato calling for Hiro. They start moving in that direction. They see Sarato standing on a tall stone, banging her wand. At first, they think the heat may have turned her crazy, and they can't find Hiro anywhere. Giru says it's drum sand she is beating, which is used to lure dragons. A large dragon approaches in the sky, flying towards Sarato as she keeps hitting the stone, calling for Hiro. Giru, with his sword, rushes towards the dragon as it approaches Sarato. But instead of attacking, it opens its mouth, and Sarato sits inside it. Giru is surprised to find her sitting comfortably as she tells them that the dragon will take them to Nambuko's mansion. Giru says she used the drum deliberately to call the dragon, which makes Palpa remember that she did that before, when she came out of a sand dragon's mouth at their first encounter. They all sit at the back of the dragon and fly. At Nambuko's laboratory, Dr. Buffalapa is working on a machine, and lets Nambuko know the magic left in the mansion will be compressed into the reactor. They are using it to recreate the Balbagoa incident again, but this time using the mansion's magic. The group sees the mansion for the first time, and comments that it looks like a Demon King mansion. Aaron tells them it belonged to a Demon King called Girokius, who was defeated by the Dalhalbart, and still some magic remains at the mansion. Giru says that the magic is protecting the mansion. The hill below the mansion shoots out an arrow that hits the dragon's wings, hurting him as he falls down on the mansion. Soldiers find the dead dragon as the group escapes and hides on the terrace. Palpa says they can't reach Nambuko, but Aaron says earlier she had to take Mumu's service to take her there, but now they have to find another way. Dr. Buffalapa teleports himself to the terrace in search of Sarato. She meets him, and he is delighted to see his daughter. He teleports her to his chamber, and as the porting door is about to close, the rest of the group jumps towards it too. The doctor says he is glad she is okay and that she has grown up since the last time he saw her. Sarato reminds him that she can't grow. Palpa asks her who she is and if she is working with Nambuko. She says that she was made under Nambuko's order, and Buffalapa confesses that she is a magic doll he created. Palpa gasps at the true nature of Sarato, and asks Tomita if he knew. Tomita says he noticed, but never thought she was a doll, but he knew she was different from the others. Palpa now understands why she never ate any food, which he used to think was because she was saving the food budget. Giru inquires why Nambuko ordered Sarato's creation. Buffalapa says that Nambuko was at Balbagoa 10 years ago, which at first Giru didn't believe as he thought only he and Hiro were the sole survivors. Buffalapa tells them Nambuko survived too due to the dragon blood crystal, made from the blood of Dagon Zo. He was asked to make soldiers with the crystals, but Buffalapa made Sarato because he believed in beauty and kindness. When Nambuko sees her, he orders the doctor to throw her away, but he didn't, and he let her escape from that volcano, turning it into ice. And she met Hiro. But Buffalapa wonders why him as Hiro doesn't even have a boy's heart, to which Giru says that's because Hiro has Dagonzot's heart. That clears everything for Buffalapa, as Sarato's dragon blood crystal is drawn towards Dagonzot's heart. The doctor starts breaking his lab materials. Sarato says she has to be with Hiro, but the doctor says to leave Hiro alone as he is more concerned about Sarato. The disaster, which they are calling the Hour of the Ultimate Dragon, is arriving, and Nambuko will take advantage of that to summon Dagonzot. Knowing him, he will use Sarato too and requests her to run away, or he can take her to some place where Nambuko would never find her. She says she can't leave Hiro, but the doctor says after the disaster is over, he will reconfigure some magic in her and erase Hiro's memory from Sarato's mind. She says no, and runs away to find Hiro. The doctor wonders if she has a sense of free will now and asks the group to take care of her. Tomita says he thought the doctor forgot about them. Giru says not to worry about Sarato, as he will take care of that, but now, he needs to save Hiro from Nambuko. Sarato claims she knows where Hiro is, runs in the hallway, hiding from the guards, and enters a room with a huge magical device powered by magical stones. Aaron says Nambuko must be planning something big. They finally find Hiro there, but Sharisharu has a sword on his throat, along with Nambuko. Giru demands for him to leave, but Hiro says it's a trap for them. Nambuko says he has been waiting for Sarato to show up. She says if she needs anything from her, take her but let Hiro go. Nambuko says he needs both of them for the plan and calls her. She walks towards them. Nambuko is surprised to see a doll with such a caring attitude towards Hiro, claiming it may be because of Hiro. He brought them there so that he could use the magic to the fullest, and he punches Hiro in the guts. Hiro falls down on his knees, and Sharisharu casts the teleportation magic to teleport them to Balbagoa. As Nambuko, Hiro, and Sarato are porting, Giru comes running towards them with his sword, but Sharisharu engages in a fight with him while they teleport. Sharisharu laughs maniacally, as now Nambuko is in Balbagoa and nothing could stop him. At Balbagoa, he mocks Hiro, saying that its place is what connected their fates. As the hour of ultimate dragon approaches, which is actually the solar eclipse happening, the soldiers think it's Dagonzot's arrival. As the sun is covered in an eclipse, with the help of the magical device, a stage appears at the place where the sealing ceremony took place. Sharisharu and Giru fights, saying that the hour of the ultimate dragon appeared according to Nambuko's plan, and with the magical device using the mansion's magic, he will merge Dagonzot with all three kingdom armies, making him a greater monster than Dagonzot. Sharisharu is now closing the sphere of Gyrokias while sending all the magic to Balbagoa. Giru says he won't let that happen, but Sharisharu reminds him he is stuck in the mansion, but Palpa reminds her so is she. Sharisharu is confident that Nambuko won't let her die. The sphere closes the mansion. Nambuko sends a message inside the mansion for everyone that once the sphere is closed, all souls present will be turned into magic. Everyone is in chaos and they cry for help, but Nambuko enjoys the cry. Sharisharu shouts that this is what she gets after all these years, but she refuses to give up and tries to teleport using her power, but she can't use it anymore. She breaks down in anger and cries. The doctor reaches out to them, informing them that the sphere is closed, but Giru asks if there's any way he can get them to Balbagoa. The doctor says the sphere is supposed to seal any magic from inside. Giru asks if that means the doctor too can't get out, but he reveals that the one they are talking about is a doll, and his body is already in Balbagoa. At Balbagoa, Nambuko says his dream is about to be fulfilled, and he's going to awaken something inside Saraato. As he is drawing his sword, Buffalapa stops him. He says he helped him because he was going to merge the soldiers and Dagonzot, but he won't let him use Saraato, or else he will stop the reactor. But with a powerful blow, Nambuko hurts the doctor. As the injured doctor is lying, he sees Nambuko hypnotize Saraato with his voice. Saraato's eyes glow red as she walks towards Nambuko. He raises his sword and electrocutes her. As Hiro rushes to save her, he can't touch Saraato because of the magic covering her, which throws him off. As Nambuko stops, a wing-like blade comes out of Saraato's head, making her look like a half-demon. As she stops answering Hiro's calls, he asks Nambuko what he has done. He says she has an override spell, and she will now only obey him. Nambuko now orders Saraato to summon the dragon by fighting Hiro. She complies and attacks Hiro with her newly found powers. As the mansion inside the sphere is falling apart, killing many people inside, the remaining group stuck inside thinks about how to get out. Sharisharu, still in shock, says this can't be happening to her. Palpa mockingly pities her. She yells, saying she doesn't need any sympathy, but Palpa says he doesn't have time for sympathy anyway. Giru suggests that if he could make a hole in the sphere, Palpa comes up with an idea. He takes out his magic calling card and calls for Mumu. Mumu says her services are unavailable when the sphere is closed. Palpa says it's no good, and if she has any weapon, that would create a hole in the sphere. He is willing to pay any price and takes out all his money, leaving the rest to put on his tab. Mumu says she doesn't do credits. Tamit says he too saved up a little for moments like this and gives his money. Giru offers his knives and cutters, and Erin reluctantly brings out her crystals. Mumu finally agrees to help them. Giru asks Sharisharu to take them to Balbagoa once they damage the sphere. Sharisharu agrees and says she will kill Nambuko herself. Mumu brings out a big magic cannon outside and fires at the sphere, creating a hole in it. Hiro doesn't turn into his dragon form and takes beatings from Saraato, but his eyes soon turn red, and he turns into his dragon form, much to Nambuko's delight, and runs towards Saraato to kill her. At the same moment, the group, along with Sharisharu, teleports there. Giru shouts at Hiro to stop, as he is rushing towards Saraato in his full dragon form. As Hiro is about to attack Saraato, she uses her wing blades to defensively attack him, throwing him off. As Giru is about to go help Hiro, he is attacked by Sharisharu. Giru asks why is she helping Nambuko as moments ago he was sacrificing her. She says it is because she is stupid. Nambuko is overjoyed by Hiro and Saraato's fight and asks Hiro and Saraato to fight each other. Hiro can't beat Serato, and Nambuko orders her to finish him. She grabs Hiro by her tentacles and slowly walks towards him. She calls him by his name adorably, like before, and hugs her. She is thrown off, falls, and faints. A huge explosion happens, and from the smoke emerges Dagonzat. He roars as everyone freezes. Nambuko says he has been waiting for this moment for 10 years, and turns on the magical device. A bunch of conical equipment comes out of the ground surrounding the Balboa field and hits magical beams at Dagonzat, starting the transforming process. He places the Grand Trawa in the middle of his machine to charge up the merging process for Dagonzat, creating a magical sigil above them. After absorbing all the energy, the sphere and the mansion inside are crushed. The whole magic from the mansion comes to Balboa as it covers Dagonzat. Nambuko steps forward as Sharisharu comes to his rescue, but is thrown away by the magical beam while Giru and others take cover behind the walls. As Hiro is struggling to get up with the help of the Grand Trawa, Dagonzat is held inside a spherical shield. Nambuko merged himself with Dagonzat, to everyone's surprise. Hiro charges towards Nambuko, but he grabs his hand, saying he can't defeat him now that he has merged himself with the dragon. Hiro is beaten badly by Nambuko, and he faints. He sees his mom and dad, and they remind him that Hiro still has a task to complete. Hiro wakes up and breaks the levitating iron hands of Nambuko. Hiro gets beat up again. Eren demands from Buffalapa to help, and he says that taking out the 3 magical stones and the Grand Trawa from the middle would reverse the magic. Serato gains consciousness, and sees Hiro badly beaten and his sword near her. Nambuko rises up to use his soul-devouring flames as Buffalapa, Eren, and Tomite try to stop the reactor. They successfully stop the engine and the magic is reversed. Tomite grabs the Grand Trawa, but Nambuko boasts that even if they reverse the magic, it's too late now. He uses the flame on the grounds of Balboa, but he sees Serato with her power of dragon blood crystal, saving Hiro from the flames. As she gives Hiro's sword to him, who is now in his human form, Nambuko stabs Serato from behind, taking out the crystal inside her and crushing it. As she lies dead on Hiro's arm, he cries out her name in pain. Nambuko says now that nothing can stop the flames. Enraged, Hiro slices his arm off. He is shocked to see what Hiro did, and Hiro says he will pay for killing Serato and his parents. He stabs Nambuko's heart, startling him, saying that no human could break the dragon's body armor. He says he isn't an ordinary human, but a wandering swordsman, and he pulls out his sword from Nambuko's heart, killing him. He runs towards Serato's body and cries. But Dagonzat rises, and Giru draws his sword, saying the dragon is now at his full power. Giro remembers that his heart is with Dagonzat, so he points the tip of the sword towards his own heart, as Dagonzat calmly looks at him. When he is about to stab himself, he remembers the teachings of Master Theo and his philosophies and throws his sword away. He asks Tomita to throw him the Grand Trawa, which he does, and Hiro pulls the Koku blade out of it. He stabs the blade into the dragon's heart. Hiro sees his own heart coming out of the dragon. Giru instructs him to replace it with his own, but Hiro instead takes his heart to Serato and places it inside her, reviving her. She slowly opens her eyes and is glad to see Hiro. Dagonzat, without any heart, turns to sparkling dust. Giru is shocked by Hiro's decision as Papa rushes to grab the Grand Trawa, saying if he sells it, he will become a trillionaire. Both Tomita and Eren, too, tries to take away the Trawa from Palpa to fulfill their wishes, but due to them trying to snatch it, the Trawa falls down and breaks into pieces. Giru says he knew that wasn't the Trawa, as it wouldn't have broken. Its task was to seal the dragon, and the task was done. Palpa asks how come Hiro took a sword from it. He says Master Theo told him that he has immense magical power inside him. Hiro cries out of happiness, seeing Serato alive. Eren says he is indeed the hero who saved the world. Serato asks for Dr. Buffalapa, who is missing. Palpa says he died trying to save her. They see the army retreating and wonder how. Eren lets them know that with the Alshina, she let the kings know that the Dagonzat is defeated, but Giro says they could start the war any time again. Suddenly Momo arrives, says she is glad they are alive and asks for her payment. Papa yells her that this isn't the time to ask for payment. Far away, Sharasharu is crying, but the guard who was sympathetic towards her comes to her and says they are free from Nambuko's evil bond now, and cheers her up saying she has a hotter body now. She is happy to hear that, and she says she has a future now. In the morning, Hiro and all bury the last remaining memory of Dr. Buffalapa in his honor. Papa reminds them that if Hiro's heart is with Saraato, Hiro still has Dagonzat's heart. Tomita says now Hiro needs to protect Saraato, as she got his heart and is now embarrassing Hiro. Eren says that means he isn't going to protect her. He says he will, and they all laugh. Hiro presents Tomita with the quest of Dalhalbar as a thankful gesture. Giru asks Tomita what he will do now. He says he will go back to his town. Palpa reminds him they are broke and need to kill some monsters on their way to make money. Giru asks Hiro what he will do next. He says he will train. Tomita says he is a better mage than a swordsman. Hiro says he is no mage but a wandering swordsman, drawing his sword to the sky and posing with his glory.